Hey folks, welcome to Drive Across Texas. I'm Pat Waters. I'm here with Kris Caudill and Justin Leathers, the founding members of 10-7 Outdoors, current law enforcement officers here in North Texas.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I appreciate your service first and foremost, and thank y'all for having the opportunity, giving me the opportunity to talk to you. Kris, tell me, 10-7 Outdoors, man, what's that mean to you? Why'd you start it?
We started it to give back to the families of the fallen law enforcement officers. So we started around 2014, and what we do is we provide hunting and fishing trips to the children of the fallen law enforcement officers.
I think it's a great organization. I don't hunt, and so to keep her, interested in hunting and things like that, it's great to have someone that's going to step up and do that, since her dad's not here to do that with her. So I think it's great.
Well, my dad used to hunt, and because he's not here, it gives me an opportunity to do it. To experience the things that I should have with him.
It started with an idea. It really started with a group of guys that love to hunt and fish. We were raised to hunt and fish by our families and foremost our fathers. And as we often do as men sitting around campfire in deer camp, we came up with an idea of, how do we give back? How do we give back and try to be different than all the wonderful foundations that give back to law enforcement? We wanted to do something different. So what we came up with was using what we love, the outdoors, primarily hunting and fishing, but everything outdoors, to give back to these kids and provide these hunting and fishing trips for them. And not as a replacement for their parent that have fallen in the line of duty, but to foster what may not be available anymore since they've lost a parent.
I mean, it's a great hunting organization that like to bring police officers or survivors of police families to their ranches that they find around Texas and bring them on great hunts for great experiences and memories.
It's a great thing for me. My husband was killed almost 6 years ago, and so my boys are growing up without their dad. So for me, 10-7 brings mentorship to my boys that they don't get without their dad. So hunting and fishing and the outdoors. And so it's a great way that they get to do something that they love doing with their dad. They still get to do that. It just brings them closer to doing that, and they make great relationships with the guys with 10-7 and the ranch owners. But it's not just something that it's a one-time trip and then it's kind of like done and over. These guys make lifelong friendships with them. They follow my boys from the first hunt all the way through. Lifelong friendships. Kris and Justin actually came to Seth's 8th grade graduation a couple years ago, and they follow their sports and just what's going on with them daily. And so it's been great. It's just not, hey, let's go on a hunting trip and see you later. They actually make bonds with the boys, and that's something that has meant the most to me because they're there for them, they're there for me, and we've actually made great friendships from this that we probably wouldn't have had otherwise without 10-7, and we all love hunting, and it's brought something that we all loved before our passion has grown. So we all hunt and fish, and now we get to do it with other surviving families. It's brought us together, not just in Texas, from across the United States, families come together. So something we all get to do and honor Chad at the same time. He's not forgotten, and so that's great. They get to truly honor the fallen and do it mentoring to these kids.
10-7's like a second family to me. The guys that originally started it are amazing officers. They are looking out for the children of fallen officers. And even though I'm an adult now, they still took me out on hunting, actually a fishing trip, but they take other kids out, which is so powerful, and these kids are never going to be forgotten, and neither are their family members that were killed on line of duty. For 22 years and 4 months, I was a police dispatcher, and I've recently moved down to the DWI units, and I'm now a civilian investigator. I feel like it was God's will. It was like a circle. I met the guys in the traffic unit working DWIs, and now I'm finishing my career with the same crew working DWIs.
I guess just kind of reading in between the lines, you know, once they've lost, like you said, the majority of the time a father, I guess y'all are just basically building relationships with the young kids.
Yes, sir.
And that's phenomenal.
We do.
That's great. Justin, what's your take on 10-7?
Yeah, I mean, Kris couldn't have said it better about what we're all about. But, you know, it's a little bit deeper for me because obviously I'm an outdoorsman at heart, and really the outdoors and being in the outdoors and learning how to enjoy the outdoors really helped shape me into the man that I am today. A little bit about my background, I'm a fourth-generation law enforcement officer, and I come from a long line of law enforcement officers, but also conservationists and true outdoorsmen, and they were big, obviously, mentors for me in my life. Putting myself in these kids' shoes, you know, had I lost my dad early on in my life, I may not be the man that I am today.
Absolutely.
So that's why it means so much to me to be able to give these kids the opportunity to learn how to enjoy the outdoors and enjoy it safely and responsibly, and be an outdoorsman as well as a conservationist. Making sure that they have that opportunity to learn that. For people who care a lot about them, it means everything to us. So we really take it personal, and we're blessed to be able to do it.
One reason I really like 10-7 is because my dad, he not only was a police officer, but he also was a game warden. He started out as a game warden, then he became a police officer. So I'm more around officers than I am game wardens. So it's cool that I can be around 10-7 and like just have all these game wardens around me and show me all the stuff that my dad wasn't able to show me, like hunting and all of that stuff, you know? And it's nice because they're real nice and they're like real giving to us, and they just don't make us feel awkward.
10-7 to me is the support, emotional support that I know that's lifted off me, because I would have never ever thought about taking these girls hunting because they're girls, you know. But with the guys being there, it is an emotional support. So it does coach them, and it kind of gives me that step aside and let them be kids. Because me being mom, you know, I try keeping them on a narrow path, and to them it just lets them be normal. It just lets them be kids, you know. So that emotional support that I talk about is that I know that I can step aside without my kids being there and have that adult conversation with them, and then they'll tell me, you know, without hesitate that I'm doing the wrong thing or the right thing, and then just guide me. It's like a guidance. They're like a rock to me. So.
Well, that's great. I'm telling you, it's a phenomenal organization. Folks, y'all look up 10-7 Outdoors. I'm sure you're online. You got a website?
We do. It's www.107outdoors.com, and Facebook's really the place to hit us up. We document our hunts on there. We document our fundraising efforts on there, and all sorts of things, and honor the fallen.
That's great.
On there as well.
I tell you, it's a phenomenal organization. Folks, I'm telling you, if you got a little extra jingle in your pocket, this is an organization you definitely need to look into. We have current police officers that are protecting the public right now in North Texas, taking time out of their busy schedule and away from their families to mentor and build relationships with kids of fallen police officers. And you know what? It just shows the love that you guys want to share, that you're passionate about. I can tell it, and very impressed by that. One of the things that I'm very impressed is that tonight you're having an event, and y'all got a heck of a band.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, who's the band tonight?
Well, Pat, we're looking forward to you. We're looking forward to you playing tonight.
Yes.
I am truly looking forward to that, and we thank you.
Thank y'all for having us. We're actually humbled, me and the guys, to be here for such a worthy cause. So tell the people, if they want to catch the next event, what is the event about here tonight?
Well, this is our second annual 10-7 Outdoors Gala, a night to honor the fallen. So tonight we're going to be joined with 350 of our closest friends, awesome. And we're going to have a party. It's going to be the night's going to be capped off with you, but we're going to start, you know, with some visitation time, and we're going to drink a little bit, and we're going to visit, and we're going to love on each other. And we got some of our 10-7 Outdoors families here, some of our surviving spouses, and some of the kiddos are going to be here. We're all going to surround them in love, and we're going to have a great time. And then we're going to kick it off with some great dinner here at the Blainstone Lodge in Midlothian, Texas. And then we're going to do a little presentation. Justin and I are going to do a little presentation to the group. We're going to look at some videos. We're going to document some of our trips, and we're just going to tell these folks what we're all about. And then we're going to raise some money.
Good.
Because here's the deal. It's not about us, but we do this on a volunteer basis. We don't take a dime from what we raise. We earn a good living. We're proud to do what we do, and we give back by volunteering for this. So every dime raised goes back to these kiddos. That's great. And minimal operation costs, but mostly to these kiddos.
I started the We the People 1776 Flag Company back in December. And it had been a thought ever since the 7/7 ambush of the 5 officers in Dallas. And I just wanted to find a way to give back. And I thought, what no other way than a handmade, American-made, made in Texas, American flag or thin blue line flag or any first responder flag. So I put those together by hand for veterans, for the families that's lost a loved one, and that's just the way I feel like I can give back. And by donating to 10-7 today, I think this is a great organization. I used to hunt. I hadn't in a while, but I love hunting. I remember my dad teaching me how. Man, it's just what these officers do with these kids is just great.
So we're going to raise some money. We're going to have a robust silent auction tonight that people can bid on some items. We're going to have a nice gun raffle where folks can buy some raffle tickets. We're going to auction off some firearms.
Good.
That fits our theme. That's what we love, Pat. Yeah. And then we're going to finish up with a nice live auction. We've got items from very generous people all over North Texas, from ranches that have donated hunts to the Texas Rangers that have donated suites to the Blainstone Lodge here that have donated parties, and we're going to auction that off, and we're just going to have a great time raising money. And then, like I said, not to be repetitive, the night couldn't be topped off better than having you finish this up with some live music.
I'm always up for a good party,
yes,
I guarantee you. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, thank you so much. I commend you on your efforts.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you for having the Pat Waters Band out here. We're very humbled to be here. Folks, y'all remember now, if you got a little extra change and you need a tax write-off, be sure to look up 10-7 Outdoors online. Go to their Facebook page. Help some of these fallen members, some of their families out. Get some of these kids, help them build relationships and know what the outdoors is about. Because I promise you, it'll make them better people. And y'all remember now, that baby's coming from a Texan. Adios. What does 10-7 mean to you?
They've just shown me a lot of compassion and caring towards people like me and my family, and it just means a lot that they've taken time out of their off time to help us experience some outdoor stuff that we otherwise wouldn't got to experience.
That's great. How many hunts or fishing trips have you been on personally?
I've been on 2 hunting trips and 1 fishing.
You know, the good thing, we've interviewed several people today, and the one thing that seems to be a common denominator about 10-7, it's just not the hunting and the fishing trips. It's like a brotherhood. They take you in and they get to know you as a person. They follow you, they stay in touch, they kind of give you some mentorship.
Absolutely.
Are you experiencing the same thing?
Yes. Chris himself, he texts me about once a month, just checking on me, seeing how the family is. And it's just really nice to have people like that in your life.
Absolutely.
And it means a lot.
Absolutely. Well, I am sorry for your loss, but I'm glad that you've reached out here to 10-7. They've reached out to you and kind of mentor you and do some things that maybe you and your father would have been able to do. So, continue that. Godspeed for sure. Now, Karen, what does 10-7 mean to you?
Well, we heard about 10-7 in 2015, and Jasper was 3 when his dad passed away, and or I should say killed in the line of duty. And so they never really got to experience outdoor stuff because I was not an outdoor person. Their dad was. And so when we found out about 10-7, we contacted them, and they just immediately set us up to come down and hunt. And since then, it's like you said, they check on him, and since then he came down. I came with him the first time and hunted. The second time, him and his brother came down and hunted, and they also mentored a smaller child and got to take them hunting. So it's not only are they mentoring them, but they're teaching them to be mentors also that they may not have learned because they didn't have a father figure while they were growing up. So it's been a really awesome experience, and we really appreciate everything that they've done and how they reach out to survivors and just kind of help the kids grow into young men and women. we appreciate it.
That's great. It's a great organization. I've been totally floored today with the response from the different young men, young women that's been, allowed to go out on these hunting and fishing trips. But like I said, the one thing that's a common denominator that I found is that it's about relationships, lifelong friends, lifelong relationships.
Yeah.
Jasper, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
You bet. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You too.
Miss Karen,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for taking y'all's time to sit down and talk with us on Drive Across Texas.
Thank you.
This is Drive Across Texas. And y'all remember now, the baby's coming from a Texan. Adios.